Hello everyone, it is the 16th day of Shorty September. We're starting a new book. Today's book is A Song for Quiet by Cassandra Khaw. I like Cassandra Khaw, and there's this other one I read. I can't think of the name, but it was weird. It was about like mermaids with like monster faces and loads of teeth. I'll put that here somewhere. That one. That was good, but loads of people were like, "That's weird, girl. Can't believe that you read that and enjoyed it and recommended it to me, and I've wasted all that time reading it because it was well weird." So I feel like Cassandra Khaw might just be sort of one of those sort of authors, but I'm down because I really enjoyed it. So this is a series, and the first one I have not read, but I read a thing online where you can read them sort of out of order. It still works, and I have the two in my hand. I had the first one and the second one in my hand, and I was reading the blurb of them, and the second one just sounded cooler. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully I'll read this and it'll be awesome. I don't need to read the first one, but if I do, I need to like make haste and get the first one pronto. I'm in Spain, I can't do it now. I'd have to just, I don't know, read something else. I do have backup books, so I'd have to read something else and then get the first one when I'm back in Cardiff. This one is for our new metal Bermuda shorts prompt because it mixes genres, okay? So it's hovery, it's also fantasy-like, it's also like cozy, like detective mystery type because it's about like this like magic man, this blues man from Georgia, and he's like meets this like scary magical madman sort of dude, and I think he's gotta, I don't know, solve a sort of PI type mystery. I don't know, I have no idea. I'm just like making crap up right now. I'm making it all up. I'll let you know when I read it. I don't know anything about it at the minute. We were just down by the pool, right? Like we were at the buffet, which is right next to the pool. And we saw these two families like fighting or like sort of like arguing, shouting at each other about sun loungers. And like I don't want to be like a horrible person who just wants people to fight all the time, but I do love a bit of the drama. That's gotta be one of the best things about like these holiday camps, right? So there's a bunch of different nationalities at these things. A bunch of different like cultures and everything, and that's like primarily a good thing, you know. You like meet a bunch of different people from a bunch of different places and everyone's like friendly and like in a good mood because they're on vacation. But you do get like culture clash and like hilarious sort of like awkward exchanges and like arguments and stuff. So there's loads of people from Germany like in this holiday camp. I think Mallorca, or like this part of Mallorca primarily, is like big with German tourists. So like in any sort of situation anywhere, the primary group of tourists are German. So we're like down the pool, right? And a thing that they do in Germany a lot is they'll like lay out their towel on a sunbed like really early, you know. So they like sort of wake up and they like pick out their sunbed straight away and they put their towel on it, and then they go about their lives like just sort of knowing that their sunbed is already sort of like claimed for them. But like it makes sort of a situation where you go to a pool and there's no one there, but there are no sunbeds available. Like all of them are like claimed in some way. And there was this other family, like I think like a sort of Slavic-ish sort of family. Sorry, my like grasp of the different Slavic languages is like not good. But it was like something like, yeah, like Ukrainian, Russian, something like this. And I think either they didn't understand like the German rule about the towels, because I didn't know when I first started like going to places like this. Either that, or they just like thought, this is stupid, like there's no one at the pool, we're the only people at the pool and there are no sun loungers, like that's dumb. So anyway, they moved the towels and sat in that place, and like I sort of watched them sit there and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be good later. And I was like watching it, and yeah, sure shit, the German family showed up and was well pissed that they like just moved their towels, and then they just like argued for ages. And thank God that there's no other language between them except English. They all had to use English so I could like keep up, you know. Didn't miss a word of it, it was brilliant. But also we went on this tour, right, the tour bus yesterday across the island, and it was like a German tour company, And it was like dual language, so half in German, half in English. And it was sort of like half and half with the people who wanted the German language bit and the people who wanted the English language bit. But I'd say the half that wanted the German language bit were actually German, and then the half that wanted the English, like, I would say very few of them were actually native English speakers. They were just sort of like an amalgamation who also spoke English. So it was like a really sort of like German culture type tour, like very like a lot of like rules, you know, like very like you have to sort of you have to follow the rules, or else it's like I don't know, it's a bit weird. So like times as well. So the guy says the time to be back at the bus, and like secretly he doesn't mean that time. He means 5 minutes before that time, you know, or else like you get like tuts from everyone. But there was this guy. Oh yeah, I saw there was like a thing where the seats were numbered, and you sit in your numbered seat and you never move from your numbered seat. You know, you're not allowed to switch. You have to sit in that number. Anyway, there was this guy. I don't know where he was from. So he was always with us in the English speaking bit, but when he asked me to watch his bag, he spoke to me in English, and it was like very strongly accented, so he was like from somewhere else. He was always smoking like in that 5 minutes between when you should arrive and like when they should be leaving. So everyone understands that when the guy says be there for 3:30, he really means 3:25. So everyone's already on the bus at like 3:25. But he was always like smoking outside the bus, like right up till 3:30. Like it was starting to like piss people off. Like he's the only one not in the bus, you know what I mean? Like as well, he did switch seats as well. Sort of like the first stop, he then got on and got like a new seat, and this like elderly German couple who had been sitting there previously were like really upset at it. It's just the drama for me. I love it. I love the gossipy drama. I'm on holiday, I got nothing else to do, you know, like no work is on, no school is on, no responsibilities. Like I'm just here for people's drama. I think that's why old people are so into it, like always like twitching their curtains, you know, knowing what everyone's on about, and like sort of like making complaints about like people walking too close to each other in COVID. So I just like got nothing else to do, you know, and I can see myself being that kind of person when I'm retired. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be like the crotchetiest, like in everybody's business sort of old lady. It's gonna be brilliant. I'm looking forward. Okay, like speaking of like cultural differences, right? I'm gonna go running right now. I'm gonna go out in this heat. Like it's 5 o'clock, but it's not gotten any colder. It's still hot as shit, you know, but I'm still gonna go running. This American bitch, she's like, you know what's gonna happen right now? Heat stroke. Sounds like a good idea. Like I ran yesterday in this heat, and I passed one other person running, and it was like an Atlanta, Georgia marathon t-shirt on him. It just clearly was also American. Like why do we have this like sickness that we need to run ourselves to death even if it's hot as shit outside? Like, Europeans, they're not doing this. They're siestaing. We won't see them till like 7 o'clock tonight. Like why are we like this? Oh my god. Okay, our book is so good. Wait. It's here. It's so delightful. I can't even tell you. I'm in love with Cassandra Khaw's writing. It's not even like the characters in the plot, which are actually really good. Like I enjoy like the creativeness of them, like the cleverness of them and the weirdness of them. But it's mainly just the writing, like the wordsmithing, you know? It's so like poetic, and the descriptions of things in everyday life or not, whatever, are just perfect descriptions that now that I have that description of that thing, I'll never think about it in the same way afterward, you know? So we've got our main guy. His name's James Deacon. He's a blues man. He plays saxophone. He's on a train coming back from his father's funeral. And the descriptions of grief and longing and like the pain of the whole thing of like burying his father and him not being around anymore are just absolutely gorgeous. Ugh. I love it. It's beautiful. But anyway, he's on a train now. He's coming back from his dad's funeral. And he accidentally ends up in the private carriage of this like racist cowboy. And he's about to have a scuffle. He's like sort of like just like picking on him. He's about to fight him just because he's a black man. And they're interrupted by this like crazy man. I don't know, this sort of like really weird, really creepy dude in a suit who says James Deacon's got something in his head and he wants it. He wants what's in his head. And they're interrupted again and he runs away. So we don't find out more about what's in his head. But James Deacon sort of, first of all, is like, what are you on about? That's stupid. But actually, he does sort of have an inkling. It's something to do with his overpowering need to play music sometimes. Like, it hits him so hard, it's like a headache behind his eyes. He needs to play music, and it can only be alleviated by actually playing. And then sometimes when he plays, sometimes it's him that's doing the playing. Sometimes it's like just in him and like consumes him. It's playing, you know, and he's going like hell for leather, like doing all this playing, and it's wild, you know, and it's just sort of like eating him up. It's not actually him doing it. It's like a sickness, or it's like an unsatiable hunger for something inside his head that needs to, you know, make music or consume music, which is creepy as shit. Like, I've left him now. He's making a bit of money in like a bar establishment of a friend. He's like doing a gig, playing saxophone for people like in a bar. But it's so good. Like, I am a bit confused, and I'm not sure if it's because it's the book 2 or because Cassandra Khaw that's just how like you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to be a bit confused. But I guess I'll see. Okay, I have finished it. Our main guy, James Deacon, he's the main character in this one, but in the first one, apparently the main character is the creepy guy he meets on the train, first of all. He's like a PI, he's like a detective, but he's not all the way human. He's like a sort of dark creature or something like that, but I mean, I guess he still does good. Like, he's a PI, he still like solve crimes or whatever. Anyway, and I found a thing online where it sort of reiterated that they are standalone books. They're only sort of like loosely related to each other. Basically, that they both contain this like PI creature guy, and that's sort of the only thing that's in common with them. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, there were loads of places in here where I was super confused, and I think like now I figured out that they are standalone. So it's nothing to do with the fact that I didn't read the first one. It is just that I think Cassandra Khaw wants me to be super confused. And I do enjoy that, actually. I enjoy it about these books, but I was quite confused for a bit. Maybe like a bit more than I should have been. But I mean, it didn't detract hugely from the book, but there's still a lot going on, I think, in there that I've missed, and I might have to read it again. Anyway, like, there's this another character. So you've got James Deacon, this like blues guy who's got like something in his head, right? And you've got this PI guy who's like from another world. He's like a dark character, and he's looking to help him with his like demon brain seed. But you've also got this other girl. She's like, I don't know how young she is. She's sort of young-ish, like either a child or a teenager. And she's only seen terrible things in the world, but she also has this like brain seed thing, but hers is like more mature. It's been in its host longer, so it's about to hatch. And apparently these seeds, like when they hatch, they ruin the world. Like it's like a demon creature that wants to destroy the whole world, you know? And first it needs a host, and then it needs to convince the host that the world needs to be destroyed, and then the host needs to participate in the destroying of the world. Anyway, this girl, Anna, she's not seen any good in the world. She's only seen bad. Horrible things have happened to her. Horrible things have happened all around her. And she's basically convinced, yeah, like, let's do it. Let's burn it all. Like, it can only be cleansed with fire. But our jazz man, he, like, even though he's also seen a lot of bad shit, like, there's a lot of bad stuff that goes on in the book. It's sort of like 1930s-ish, I think. So there's a lot of like racism. There's a lot of like separate but equal sort of bullshit. There's a lot of like, as well, the sort of brain seed makes him see horrible stuff, like as hallucinations as well, just sort of like dead bodies and like battlefields and like, you know, like serial killer stuff. Like it makes him see it all the time. Like it makes him see the worst of the world. But still, he's like determined to give humanity a chance. Like he's just like focusing on good things, like focusing on people at like soup kitchens, like desperately feeding the starving, you know, and like he's just like trying to put into his mind all of the good that can be. And he's like trying to convince this girl, like it's not all terrible. Like it's not just, you know, it can be made good in a different way other than just like destroying it and starting over. Like there are good in people, and we can sort of like work with those people and be good ourselves and like make our, you know, land better, make our earth better, make our community better by just being better and trying harder to be good, you know? I don't know, like I really liked it, I really enjoyed it. I really like the writing style and like the cleverness of sort of the characters and the setup and everything. And also like it's so poetic, this sort of like desperate plea that yeah, humans are awful, but you know, they're also good and they could be good for so much more, you know, like just give them a chance to be good, you know. But yeah, I was super confused through a lot of it and I'm still confused, so I'm gonna go with 4 stars on that one, which is pretty good. And I am actually gonna read the first one. It says like apparently they don't have like a lot in common, but that's okay. I enjoyed it, so I'm gonna read the other one as well. Okay, for tomorrow, it is my birthday. What? So for my birthday book, we're gonna read Music to Make Friends by a Life-Loving Pop Music. So this is like a memoir in 90s music, basically. And I believe like loads of songs are mentioned. I think I'm going to make myself a little playlist to sort of listen to for tomorrow and the next day that go along to it, because we are going to do this for our Rockstar Shorts prompt, a book and music together. Okay, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. What are you reading? As always, I 100% want to know about that. Also, how is things? I apologize that story time went on for so fucking long today. I'll try to be more interesting tomorrow on my birthday. And I'll see you next time. Okay.